This is Hat Yai on Thursday the 21st of January 2021. A couple of people have requested that I do another walk around Hat Yai, which is what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to start in the same place as last time, which is Lee Gardens. And for many years this was the absolute epicenter of Hat Yai. This is where all the retailers wanted to be. This is where teenagers hung out. There are restaurants inside here. At the end of 2013, Central Festival opened, which is the largest mall in southern Thailand, and lots of those businesses relocated there, and that's now where the teenagers hang out. And this place started to sort of go really downhill, and since COVID it's been the death knell for Lee Gardens. It's just killed it off completely. As you can see, McDonald's is closed. The central department store opposite closed last year. I'm not sure what's going to take its place. And because this is the area where lots of tourists wanted to be, there are quite a few hotels. Above the old central department store is the Centara. The upper floors of Lee Gardens are a hotel. Over there is the Regency Hotel. Next door is the Grand Plaza. And just along from that is the Grand Pink, which used to be the Pink Lady, and it was quite infamous for its nighttime goings on. Now, these hotels are all still open, but they're very, very quiet. This is the Hat Yai Central Hotel. It's quite a big hotel. It's been open for many years. It closed last year because of the COVID problem. And I've just spoken to a woman opposite who's got a small food stall, and she tells me that it won't reopen. It's now for sale. And a lot of businesses in Hat Yai are in the same situation. This restaurant was very popular with Malaysian tourists, and whenever I used to walk by there were always lots of Malaysian tourists inside and outside. Of course, at the moment, with no tourists, the restaurant is very, very quiet, but it's still open and business is carrying on. Hat Yai is like a tale of two cities. There's a lot more in Hat Yai than just tourism. If you go to one of the big tourist spots in Thailand, which relies 100% on tourism, you'll find those places are absolutely dead. In Hat Yai, if businesses are not related to tourism, they're doing okay. My brother-in-law has a body shop repair business, and because of the way Thais drive, there's no better business to have than body shop repair. He's doing really well. He's got about 15 people working for him and lots of work. However, anything to do with tourism is absolutely dead. There's lots of little massage shops for the Malaysian and Singaporean tourists, and they're all closed. Restaurants. I just spoke to the tuk-tuk guy outside Lee Gardens, and he's having a really bad time. He tells me he's got no money to put fuel into his tuk-tuk and no money to buy food. So anyone that relies on tourism is really suffering badly. The request I got was a walk from Lee Gardens Plaza down to the train station area, and in particular Robinson department store. But I'm also going to take in a couple of the traditional markets in central Hat Yai, and these markets are quite famous across Thailand and very well known to Malaysian and Singaporean tourists. We'll start off at Yong Market, where there are shops outside and inside. Hello, สวัสดีครับ น้องชื่ออะไรครับ
ชื่อน้องเมย์
น้องเมย์ Bye bye น้องเมย์ Bye bye. You hear that we have some garlands and things to decorate spirit houses, and there's quite a lot of fruit and veg, and further up you'll find meat and seafood. This place hasn't changed for years. It's exactly the same. Lottery tickets. 2 lotteries per month on the 1st and the 16th of the month. Hello, สวัสดีครับ ขายเยอะไหมครับ
ไม่เยอะหรอกค่ะ
ไม่เยอะ Telling me she hasn't sold many tickets. สวัสดีครับ คนละครึ่ง Face song. Lots of fruit and vegetables, or more fruit actually than vegetables. There's Chilchang Temple down the end of the road. Fish, chicken, fruit and veg, pineapples, saparot ma jak nai krap? Patalung. Okay. It's pineapples from my cup. Pineapples from Patalung province. Gluai. Gluai, pep nai krap?
20
No, pep nai.
อร่อยกินไหมเจ็บไหม
ไม่กล้วยเป๊ปนายครับ
กล้วยไก่
Okay. ไม่ครับ I just wanted to know what type of bananas, but she wanted to sell me some instead. Oranges. Garlic. Gratiam. And my namesake, Farang. Chop Farang, my crap? Chop Farang, my? Some fresh flowers. And this woman's sorting out chili, vegetables. Holy crap. Coconuts. Okay, now I think we'll turn around and go and look inside the market for a while. Inside the market there's an upstairs and a downstairs, but not many people go upstairs, and those businesses upstairs are really struggling. But downstairs they're doing okay. They do get a lot of Malaysian tourists in here, so business must be down, but also a lot of locals use this market as well. And this is pork. This is the reason I don't eat pork in Thailand. Fish and shrimp. Vegetables. Yim wan. Underwear. You can buy chocolate and biscuits and cakes and things as well. This is where I buy my tea bags. A box is about 200 baht in the supermarkets and only 100 baht here, so it's a lot cheaper. And most of the sales staff are Muslim, and a lot of the goods come from Malaysia. And I'm not quite sure of the legality, but the southern border tends to be quite porous, and I think a lot of stuff comes over without paying any tax, so it's cheaper. It's quite an emporium, and interesting to walk around. Lots of dried food, nuts, different kinds of nuts, pistachios, almonds, cashews. We got here we've got macadamia, almond, pistachio, pistachio again. They normally greet you with Au Arai, or Ao Arai Jar, which is like what do you want, or Sir Arai, what are you going to buy? They don't really like you just looking around. You have to buy something. Here we have clothes. You can also buy clothes and shoes in here. There's some electronics as well, but up the upstairs is mostly electronics and watches. We'll go up there in a minute. More clothes. More nuts. Macadamia, pistachio. Honey crab. More clothes. Baby's clothes. There's some traditional Thai material, batik. Watches, radios, clocks, hair clippers. Oh, the other thing about this place is that, as you've probably noticed, there are no fixed prices. So when you ask for something, you're given one price, which is going to be very high, and then you have to haggle to get the price down to a reasonable amount. And it's always difficult knowing what is a reasonable amount. The Thais are much better at it than I am. What do you grab? Surrogate เป็นอย่างไรบ้างครับ Surrogate. No, she just doesn't want to speak to me. Just asking how business was doing. She just doesn't want to speak. On here we have some cosmetics. There's also cleaning materials as well. Strange enough, you can't buy household bleach in Thailand. It comes from Malaysia. The brand name is Depex, and this is one of the places I buy it from. I don't know. Batik. No, she's asking if I want batik. No, may I crap. Batik from Thailand. And some more cosmetics. There's incense sticks and other things to make merit with. Yep, you are excused. More underwear. And then outside there's more fruit. And there's quite a few chestnuts as well. And one of the things I used to like about Christmas in London was coming out of the tube, going up onto the cold streets and buying a bag of chestnuts. And you can buy chestnuts here as well, but obviously the weather is a lot hotter than England. These come from Japan, I think. Different prices, and they're pretty good. They'll give you a taster first before you buy, but they're pretty good. Okay, let's take a stroll upstairs, see what there is upstairs. Stairs are quite steep. These are cheap toys. I've been burnt several times buying these. My kids always want toys. Then you buy these things, they're not actually that cheap, and they just don't last at all. They're just a complete waste of money. It's much better to pay a bit more and get some quality toys. Shirts, bags, clothes, sunglasses. A lot of the stuff here is fake, but they don't try to hide it. If you ask if it's fake, they will tell you. And it should be obvious by the price as well. Watches, hoodie crab. Do choi choi crab. Mosquito swatters, more washes, torches. No problem.
ถ่ายรูปร่องแปลง
อะไรไม่มีปัญหาครับ
ถ่ายไม่ได้ก็ไม่ให้ถ่าย
ทำไมถ่ายไม่ได้ไม่มีบ่าย
เดินหน่อยก็เดินหน่อยก็ถามได้
She's telling me I can't take a video. I told her there's no signs saying I can't take a video. As I mentioned earlier, the legality of this place is a little bit suspect, and they probably don't like people taking photos or videos very much. Most of this stuff is from China. Hair dryers, curling tongs, kettles. Well, here we have the electronic stuff. There's dash cams and audio equipment. So very, very quiet on the upstairs floor, and no customers at all, apart from me, and I'm not even a customer. And more cheap toys.
ก่อนได้ค่ะซื้ออะไรคะ
วันนี้ไม่ซื้ออะไรครับ
ไม่ซื้ออะไรหรอ
ไม่
ช่วยประเดิมให้สักชิ้นคาสิโอแนวของแท้เลย Watch
มีลูกค้าวันละกี่คนครับ
ไม่ค่อยดีเลย
ไม่เคยมี
เงียบ
เงียบมากใช่
โควิดอ่ะ
ใช่
ถึงได้บอกว่าช่วยอุดหนุนสักชิ้นนาฬิกา
สง
ปลุก
สารมาก
มากสงสาร
คิดว่าปีนี้ไม่ดีขึ้นด้วยอาจจะปีหน้าอีกนาน
แต่ก็ขอให้มันดีขึ้น
Yeah.
นะคะ
โอเคโชคดีครับ สวัสดีครับ
ขอณนะคะ
Yeah, they're just telling me they've got absolutely no customers, and it's not looking good this year. Maybe it will be better next year. The short-term outlook is definitely not good. I'm getting some very strange looks here. They definitely don't like cameras and videos, so I think we will make our exit and resume a bit later on. This guy is just trying to sell me a prostitute. He's showing me pictures of her on his mobile phone. He's also tried to get me interested in a tour of Songkla, but I'm interested in neither. Yep, so I mark.
Okay.
One email. Most of the massage shops are closed. There are still some open, but when you look inside, there are no customers, and it makes you think, what's the point of staying open? Maybe they get one customer a day or something, but certain owners have decided to keep their shops open. The other famous traditional market in downtown Hat Yai is Santisok. There's no food, it's mostly electronics. It's also where you get your pirated DVDs and CDs and software. So we'll just take a quick look in here. And again, they're not going to like me having a camera, but we'll see what happens. So you can see that a lot of shops are closed. What crap? This place is illegal as well. Sometimes you come along and it's supposed to be open, and you walk inside and all of the shutters are down, and that's because they've had a visit from the police. But as soon as the coast clears, the shutters open, as do the shops. And there's a lot of fake stuff in here as well, but they don't always tell you. So you might buy a memory card or something with a good brand written on it, but it's not actually a real one. So you need to be quite careful. What crap? This guy looking at me very suspiciously. Farang with a camera. Okay. Back outside, and this is very similar to Gimyong with dried foods and fresh fruit and Muslim vendors. For many years, the orange building on the corner over there was the famous Hat Yai Guesthouse. And lots of backpackers used to come up from Singapore or Malaysia, then into Thailand and up to Krabi or PP or somewhere, and go down the other way. And if they needed to stop for a night in Hat Yai for their train or bus, they would stay here. And it's quite cheap, it's very, very basic, and they get information about their onward journey. Was it a year or maybe 2 years ago, the lease ran out and they've now moved to here. But of course, at the moment with COVID, there are no backpackers and it looks very, very quiet inside, and I guess they've got very few, if any, customers. The road in front of the train station is Tamannawn Witty Road, and this is where you go for nightlife. If you carry on down this road, you'd eventually get to the places where all the locals hang out at night. And this end is meant for Farangs, except there aren't any of these days. When I first got to Hat Yai in 2002, 2003, this was the days before they clamped down on visas. You could live permanently in Thailand just by going to the border once a month. And there were lots and lots of Farangs. And many hung out here, and any time of day or night you would see people here. They had Western food. They took Western food off the menu a couple of years ago because there's just no customers to sell it to. And a bit further down you've got the Swan. And the owner there spent some time in the UK quite a long time ago, sort of understands English food. And in between these two places, there are also a few bars. And as far as I know, they've all closed. Quite near to here was the Irish pub. And that was opened by an expat. And I used to go there for foreign food occasionally. And that closed a couple of years ago. So the Farang scene in Hat Yai has been very, very quiet for several years, and now it's actually quite rare for me to see another Farang when I'm walking around. The other type of business that I guess is suffering are the many plastic surgery and beauty clinics. These are very popular with Malaysians and Singaporeans. If they get work done in their own countries, it's very, very expensive. Whereas if they come to Thailand, it costs a fraction of the price. So many come for nips and tucks and little procedures. And most of these places still seem to be open, but they all look very, very quiet. As per the request I received, I'm now going to walk along Tamannawn Witty Road towards the train station and Robinson department store. And to be honest, and I do try to be honest on my YouTube channels, I have mixed feelings about the current situation. I've been visiting Thailand since 1987, it's 33 years. And when I first came, there were very, very few tourists. And I've seen so many places have been completely ruined by tourism. When I went to Pattaya for the first time in 1987, I thought it was an amazing place. By 1992, it was awful. So I went to Phuket in 1992 and I thought that was a fantastic place. And when I went again in 1996, I thought it was a terrible place. And this happens repeatedly all over Thailand. And for me, there's nothing better than going somewhere that isn't heaving with tourists. So in that respect, I'm really enjoying it. But I do feel genuinely sorry for the people who are suffering so badly at the moment. As I've been walking around today, every tuk-tuk driver, every motorbike taxi wants to take me somewhere. Every vendor wants me to buy something because they are so desperate. So I do feel genuinely sorry for those people. This is the area where there are a lot of gold shops, just in front of the station. And just so on the other side, there are some sort of travel businesses that help people who have just arrived by train get to where they want to go. Obviously there I'm pretty quiet at the moment. And as we round the corner, we will see Robinson department store. Thais love Kentucky Fried Chicken. And here's Robinson, the green building. So let's just take a look inside, see what we can find. To go into virtually everywhere, you need to be wearing a mask, and there's normally a temperature check just inside the doors. I haven't been here for a long time, so I'm not sure what we're going to find. Okay, it's like airport type security here, security guard. Cow, ni ma kap, tang ni. Okay. What Anapom? Okay, what Anapom is check temperature. Okay. 36.4. Okay. I have no fever, so they're allowing me in. Here we have shoes. Mostly clothes and cosmetics on the first floor. There used to be a top supermarket on the ground floor, on the basement. I'm not sure if it's still there. Let's just take a quick look. With the cosmetics, most of the salespeople are female, but you also get a few lady boys as well. They tend to be quite extrovert. Okay, women's underwear. Wouldn't be surprised if I was arrested walking around the women's underwear section with a video camera. Try and find the escalators. Where have the escalators gone? Let's ask someone. Koto krab, Bandai Loon. Bandai Loon. Okay. Okay, Cooking. Yeah, bye crab. Cooking crab. You see, it's been a while since I was in here. Not a store I come to very often. Okay, and Tops is still here. That's good. Good quality food, some Western food. That's quite expensive. Always a good selection of food. Okay. We used to shop at Tops all the time, but I found that the things I used to buy, they didn't have any stock, and also prices kept going up. So we suddenly switched and now do most of our shopping at Macro. Okay, that's enough downstairs. Now I'll go back upstairs. On this floor it's mainly clothes, and at the other end is baby gear. A few years ago I used to spend quite a lot of time and money at the other end. Now fortunately that's over. And if we go up one more floor, they've got their electronic gear up there. Power buy. It's great for buying electronic gear here. Home Pro have got a lot. Thai Wasadu. There's several branches of Power Buy, and there's some other independent shops as well, and they're all very well stocked and prices are quite competitive. I think my next major purchase is a fridge for my new kitchen. Kitchen and household goods over here. Again, a good selection and pretty good quality. My wife has just told me she wants to buy a set of new plates. That's the ones I've had for years are looking pretty bad now. And over here is a branch of B2S, books, music and stationery. When I first got to Hat Yai, there used to be quite a big English book section, but in every bookshop now there seems to have removed their English book sections. As I said earlier, there's so few Farangs in this area now that it's just not worth their while selling goods that Farangs will buy, so they've just got rid of them all. I think it was Harry from Malaysia who requested the tour of Robinson, and there it is. And the good news is that it's still here, it's still doing pretty well. I guess most of the customers must be locals, so this store hasn't been hit particularly hard by the lack of Malaysian tourists. There's no unemployment benefit in Thailand, so if people don't work, they don't get any money, so they all need to work. And what you find in retail, there are so many assistants everywhere. The problem is, a lot of them aren't really that interested, they just get paid very low wages. I went to buy my son some football boots a few weeks ago, and we went into the store and every sales assistant was just standing there staring into a mobile phone, and I got quite annoyed in the end. I wanted some assistance and just couldn't get any. Anyway, the staff here look a bit more attentive than that particular shop. This is another guest house that's been here for many years. There's another one very nearby called Ladder, and these are just in front of the train station, so I guess they were looking for people who had just got off the train and wanted somewhere to sleep. And as is the case with all of these places, I just think they've got no customers at the moment, so they must be really having a bad time. This is Hat Yai railway station, Satani Rotphai Hat Yai. It's on the main north to south route, so if you go south you can go down to Butterworth in Malaysia, which is sort of opposite the island of Penang, and then you can go all the way down to Singapore. And if you go north, you can go up to Bangkok, and then you can get on a connecting train all the way to northern Thailand, Chiang Mai and those sort of places. Train travel tends to be quite slow in Thailand, but it's very cheap and very relaxing, so I quite enjoy it. And with this hotel, if you want to stay really close to the train station, there's a hotel just yards from the exit. And this one's actually quite nice. The rooms are very big and spacious. Here's the timetable, and it seems that the furthest south they show is Sungai Golok on the Thai-Malaysian border. So you go there first, and I think there you'd have to do customs and immigration, then you could go further down to Butterworth and KL and Singapore, and the furthest north is Bangkok. And there are different classes of train. I've travelled third class, so you just get fans and open windows. There's air-conditioned carriages, and there's also sleepers for long journeys. It's very quiet here, as is the case with everywhere else. There's a 7-Eleven style mini-mart where you can buy snacks before your journey, but you'll also find that on Thai trains there's a lot of people walking through the train selling food and snacks. That's never really an issue. There used to be a service where you could deposit your bag or just leave luggage, but that seems to have closed. Hong Bodigan Phak Sam Para. Yeah, that's they've taken off the sign, and that definitely looks closed now. There's also an information counter, Pracha Sampan, and I think the staff there do speak some English, so if you want information about anything they should be able to help you. And there's also a call centre number, 1690. Here are the ticket counters, and in my experience I found that the staff generally do speak a bit of English. It's not normally a problem. If I can give you one tip, it's after the problems I had going from Bangkok to Ayutthaya recently. I bought my ticket, but I didn't specifically reserve a seat. So I got on the train and just sat anywhere. And then someone came along saying it's their seat and threw me off, so I had to find another seat. Then the same thing happens, and this happens repeatedly. So when you buy your ticket, make sure that you reserve a numbered seat at the same time. This orange building opposite had me confused for a while. When I was building my website, I wanted information about hotels, so I went to virtually every hotel in Hat Yai and got information and got a business card. I went to this place and they had no business cards. So I asked how much a room was for the night, and they said there's no rooms available. Oh, that's strange. So I said, well, okay, will there be rooms available next week? No. Next month? No. So it's a hotel that's open, but there's never any rooms available, and I couldn't really work it out. And what it is that every room is occupied by a working girl. So it's not really a hotel. There's another name for places like this. So if you're looking for somewhere to stay in Hat Yai and you pass the Mandarin Hotel, there won't be any rooms available. But if you're looking for another service, then you may be able to find what you're looking for here. And I went by recently and it was all closed up, so I thought we were closed, but today it looks open. So I guess that particular style of business in Hat Yai is still doing okay. This guy has just got his car clamped and he's not very happy. The only thing worse than driving in Thailand is parking in Thailand. Thais will park absolutely anywhere. And normally the police don't do anything, so I'm really pleased to see the police taking action this time. This area, just underneath the railway bridge, doesn't really rely on tourism too much and therefore hasn't been particularly affected by COVID. They sell amulets here. I almost said Buddhist amulets, but it doesn't have anything to do with Buddhism. And there's various repair services. You can get shoes repaired here, clothing, belts. I sometimes get shoes repaired here. Amulet repairs. It's quite an interesting little area to look around, but very small. You can get luggage repaired. More amulets. You can also get keys cut, which is quite useful. A couple of guys over there cutting keys, more repairing shoes. And if you go up the stairs and over the bridge, that's where you find the Hat Yai immigration office. These ladies that run sewing machines on the street are very useful. If you've just got a quick repair to do, they will do it very quickly and only charge you 20 or 30 baht. I've used them several times. These look like shoelaces. And another lady repairing shoes. This is Hat Yai's fruit market. I don't think it's quite as big as the fruit market I visited in Nakhon Si Thammarat some years ago, but it's still pretty big. And in addition to the market, there's lots of fruit being sold in the streets around this area. Find almost anything you want. A lot of it's sold wholesale. If you do buy it wholesale, you can obviously buy it for a lot cheaper than the retail price. There are a lot of Muslims in southern Thailand. As you go further south into Pattani, Yala and Narathiwat, you'll find more mosques and temples. In Hat Yai, I still think there's a Buddhist majority, but there are still a lot of Muslims. There's a lot of restaurants selling halal food, and there are hotels just geared up for Muslims. People of other religions can stay, but all the food is halal, there's no alcohol, and where there's a swimming pool, there'll be 2 swimming pools, one for men, one for women. And as we walk a bit further along, we will come to the Pakistani Mosque. It's one of the best known mosques in Hat Yai. And on previous visits to this place, I've met quite a lot of Muslims from other countries. if they come to this area, they make a point of visiting this mosque. And they've all been very friendly people. As we walk further down, there is more fruit and veg for sale. This is a really frenetic area. And just up here on the right is Hat Yai Plaza, where you can buy lots of cheap clothes. This is really an early morning place. She's waving. Swaddy crab? Sabai my crab? Can carry young crab? Can carry young? Come, okay. Roma song, okay. Swaddy crab? Another Thai that couldn't understand my Thai. It just doesn't occur to them that I'm speaking Thai, so they don't tune in. But she's just waiting for someone to send her some food. There's the back of Hat Yai Plaza. Yeah, as I was saying, this place is sort of an early morning place. And it's now lunchtime, so it's getting quiet now, and they'll be packing up and going home soon. If we continue down this road, we'll come to Hat Yai Hospital, which is one of 2 public hospitals in Hat Yai. It's where Thailand's great unwashed go to get their medical treatment. It's a crazy busy place, and from the outside it looks really third world, but inside they've actually got some fantastic facilities. It contains the best neonatal ICU ward in southern Thailand. My son spent 3 weeks there because he was born with pneumonia, and when I heard he was going to Hat Yai Hospital, I was a bit taken aback, because the appearance doesn't give you that much confidence, but inside it's absolutely fantastic. Here's a COVID warning sign. Prot Wen Raya Hang Mai Noi Gua Nung Met Pua Kwam Plop Pai Jak Covid 19, and then the English translation underneath. So you notice that most people are wearing masks around here, but there's not a lot of social distancing. And this is Hat Yai Plaza, which has mainly clothes, and there's sort of the sweatshop style clothes. They look okay when they're new, but when I first came here I bought some shirts from this place which looked fine, and after about 3 washes they had almost fallen apart, so the quality is very, very poor. Again, we have a lot of hopeful vendors, but not many customers. In fact, 0 customers. Shoes, sandals. Sawadee krap. Some vendors like to speak, others don't, and just ignore me. Cheap shoes. Sawadee krap. Can carry young krap.
ปวดปักเร็วในโปรแกรมอะในโปรแกรมต้องรถโปรแกรมมาใช่
And if we go all the way through this building out onto the street and turn right, it will take us back to Kim Yong, where we were quite a long way back in the video. Since I've been living in Hat Yai, almost every aspect of the town has changed beyond recognition. When I first got here, if you wanted to buy a household appliance, a computer, or any electronic device, this was the place to go. Wichusin Centre. It was the absolute #1 place. When Central Festival opened in December 2013, Wichusin opened a second branch there, but that closed subsequently. And now the main branch has closed. And it's just beyond belief how a place can be the #1 business for a certain product, and then a few years later to be closed, because so many other places have opened and are selling the same sort of things and are more competitive. This is the front of Hat Yai Plaza that had quite a big makeover some years ago, and the famous clock tower that's been around a very long time. And just after that they got rid of the pedestrian crossing that used to be here. Well, I think that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this walk around Hat Yai. I need a drink, some food and a sit down, so I'm going to stop here. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you have requests for other areas of the town, please let me know and I'll see what I can do in future. Okay, thank you for watching.